2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. I'm Jess. This is Community Connections, and I'm joined by one of my co-hosts this evening, Joe, aka Phantom Meeple. Good evening, Joe.
Hello, good evening, everybody.
How are you this evening, Joe?
I am fantastic. How are you, Jess?
I'm getting over a cold, which kind of is a bummer, but it's not COVID, so I'm thankful for that. But it's
That
like,
is a good thing.
yeah, it's the second one that I've gotten in a month, and so it's kind of annoying.
Oh no.
So I'm like, can I just have my warm weather and my sunshine now?
I know, but it's coming, so we're getting close.
We're getting there. We're getting there. And thank you, my dear, for the subscription. I totally appreciate it. I rock. Yes, not to toot your own horn, Joe. But friends, you're going to see a lot of Phantom Meeple this week because not only is he going to be here tonight with me as per usual for Community Connections, he's not only going to be on stream with me on Wednesday for some gaming, digital gaming, but he's also going to be on Friday's stream. He's going to have a three-peat, y'all. A three-peat.
All the Phantom Meeple all the time.
Oh my gosh. Look at that. Did you just set that up for yourself?
I might have. I mean, only you and I can see it, but I'm just giving myself all the accolades here, which is so fantastic.
You know what? Let's just continue and put the icing on the cake. I'm just gonna give Phantom a shout out because if you're not following Phantom Meeple, open up another tab on your browser, click that link, follow Phantom. And then come back here because we're going to be sitting down and chatting with a beautiful guest here in just a moment. But yes, so Joe's going to be with me all week. It's not the Fanda week, so take that, Amanda Panda. Although she is going to come on Wednesday, so.
I know, I haven't even done an entire week on Amanda yet, so you got that much on her.
No, I love her. She was actually teaching me the game we're going to play on Wednesday earlier today on Tabletop Simulator, so. Yeah. But, so other than that, other than being somewhat, in recovery, I've been doing okay. I've been, getting some, games organized and finally to like see about taking some either to, game stores for like trade in, because usually they get like store credit or things like that, or they can sell them for you. There is a game convention coming up here in like couple weeks that's going to be I think they're going to have some sort of trade happening, so Gus and I are kind of organize like our collection and be like, okay, which ones can we give and which ones can we pass along to people. So I don't know, have you ever done anything like that?
That is a never-ending struggle.
Yes.
No, I haven't, but I have definitely considered it. I mean, as far as, cycling games in and out of the shelves, I've done that quite a bit, but not through like a store or anything like that.
Yeah. It's something to maybe check into because sometimes you're just like looking at certain game stores and you're like, oh man, I wish I had enough funds for that. And sometimes they give you like percentages off if you trade in some of your old games and things too. So I would recommend it.
I might have to look into that.
Yeah, definitely recommend helping out your local game store than those big box shops that we all know and love online.
Yeah, I know there's a handful in Seattle that do it. Like I think Blue Highway and Meeple's Games do it, but as far as by me, I don't think any do anything like trade-ins like that.
Yeah. So yeah, check it out. And speaking of talking about local things, we've got a local guest for you all today. Local for me and Joe. She is a beautiful person, game designer that you might have seen when we were at OrcaCon back in January. Playing some of her games with us in person. It is the wonderfully talented, the ever so lovely Estefania Rodriguez. Dun, 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 dun.
Yay! All the excitement.
I love it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, welcome on.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yay! And look, we got some cute emotes in the chat from Abby. I just love those dancing kitties. So cute. And Time Roller's here. Hello, Timey. bringing in the shaky butts. I love those meeple butts. Love them. So fun. So fun. How are you this evening, Estefania?
I'm good. I'm very good. Just finished dinner, so that makes me even happier than usual. So
you won't be hangry on stream. We appreciate that.
Right? Yeah.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah. What did you have for dinner?
I had carne asada fries.
Nice.
Ooh, yum.
Homemade, or did you go get some?
No, I went to go get some.
Okay.
After work, I was like, I'm too tired to think of what to make, so I was like, I'm just gonna pick up and I came home and
nice. I appreciate that. Sometimes you're just like, I know what I want and I don't want to make it myself, so having the convenience is a nice thing for sure.
Yes, it really is.
I've been there some nights.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You're like,
it's like, oh, I have all this food in the fridge and I don't want to cook it. All right, Chef Hubert, let's go.
Yes.
I've been there, for sure.
Chef Hubert, for sure. Yeah, so like Joe put in the chat, friends, if you have any questions for Estefania, please type them into the chat and we'll get to them as soon as we can. But for the next 90 minutes or so, we're going to have a nice cozy conversation with her and get to know who she is and what she does in the gaming space. So let's kick it off, Estefania, with the most important question. What are your identifiers? How would you identify who you are and what you do within the board gaming space?
So I am she, her, and I am a game designer and graphic designer. I work at Funko Games right now as a game producer. And yeah, I think that kind of sums up a little bit of me and then my day job.
Awesome. And Funko is located in the Seattle area, correct?
Yes. Yeah, we're near like the U district.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. All right, then, Joe, would you like to
all right,
take it away? Well, your first question.
Yeah, we have to ask the second most important question of the interview. How'd you get into board gaming?
Oh man. Okay. So back when I was in college, I mean, I played board games when I was younger, and I think this is like the same story that almost everyone has, you know, the same old Monopoly, you know, when I was young and like 8 or 9 years old. I actually lived in Argentina, and my grandpa brought me all these board games from the United States, and it was like Life, Clue, Monopoly, right? So that all regular story. But to more modern board gaming, really in college, which is now 15 years ago. Oh my God. That's painful. We found a group of friends that we actually still know today and we still play with. Not in person anymore because we live in different states, but we just started kind of hanging out, playing some board games. And really that was throughout the whole college few years, and then after then it died down because we moved away and we actually moved from Las Vegas to Portland. And in Portland is kind of when I started to get the bug, because I didn't get to play that many board games there, but I got the bug of wanting to design them. So that's when I started designing my game Popcats Fighter and some other ones too, but Popcats Fighter is the one that's like furthest along. And then moved back to Las Vegas, got back into board gaming. And really that's when I decided to wanting to really get into the industry. And then the pandemic happened. And so everyone knows that story, right? Everyone's at home. And that was kind of the time where I was like, well, if I can't find a job anywhere else, then I'm just going to really focus on designing my own stuff. And that's when I kind of made some leaps and bounds in my games. And as the year was changing from 2020 to 2021, I just looked for work in different companies, and I applied to Funko for a game producer job, and thankfully I got it. So that's kind of what happened 2 years ago at this point, and it's been quite the ride.
That's awesome. That is so
sounds
cool.
like quite the journey.
Yeah, it was lots of bouncing back and forth, but totally worth it. And very excited to be where I'm at.
Cool. That's awesome.
All right. An easy question for you, Estefania. What is your go-to player color?
Blue.
Yes, Blue Club.
Blue.
We really should be keeping track. I need to go back and count all of the answers everybody has said.
Mm-hmm. After that, if someone takes the blue before me, I'll do a green.
Okay.
But blue is like the first thing.
Yeah. Nice. So we've had a lot of blue. We've had quite a handful of green, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of purple as well. So we're getting like I've noticed a trend of like a lot of people in the cool color like cooler colors.
Sure, yeah.
That like the warmer colors like red and orange and pink, and then the cooler colors are blue, greens, and purples. But yeah, and we've had a couple of those special ones that we like to say that they don't have a player color preference, which I call BS on, and I think Joe.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody has it. Everybody has a color they go to.
Absolutely.
And on top of, I think we've maybe had one yellow.
Yes. Yeah.
Yellow.
Yeah.
I don't know, but nobody wants to be yellow.
No.
I'm thinking of like white or like what colors like people don't pick usually.
We had someone that loved like natural colors like tan and beige and brown.
Oh, sure.
Also. But yeah. And then pink. Pink was high up there too. But yeah, we'll have to go back, Joe, and just be like, okay.
I know. I'm really gonna have to
have like I'll need to make like a tally sheet of just like.
Yeah, every time put a little meeple of that color.
Yeah,
like, we totally should.
Yeah. Fun art project to do. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Joe, what you got?
All right, co-op or competitive? What's your pleasure?
Competitive. I think, yeah. Because co-op, I have a hard time sometimes wanting to do what other people want. So I think competitive is probably best.
Okay.
That's fair. That's fair. Do you have a favorite game mechanic?
Ooh, I really like set collection. I think that's probably why I put it in Popcats Fighter. Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, oh wow, is that why I did it? I also like just in general like engine builder games.
Okay.
I tend to when I play, I tend to have a lot of fun doing my own thing, which is why I don't like sometimes cooperative games because I just want to do whatever I want to do. Mm-hmm. So I think that kind of stuff like is really fun for me.
Very cool.
Okay. All right, go to game night snack and bevy.
Mountain Dew for sure. Like, yeah. And in particular, I should say Mountain Dew, the watermelon version.
Oh, that's a good one.
Is that
I was about to say, oh yeah, the Major Melon has been out for I think less than a year.
Wow.
Yeah, I think about a year or so. I love that one, but just in general, Mountain Dews are good. I love Baja Blast, which is the version that like Taco Bell has, right?
Mm-hmm. That is a good one.
Mm-hmm. And then snacks, chips, sea salt chips. And with the Mountain Dew, obviously.
Okay.
That's just the best. And then maybe by the end of the night, I'll get something sweet, like maybe some like M&Ms with peanuts or something like that. But when we start gaming, it's a drink and chips.
I like it.
All right. It's easy go-to.
I like it. Do you have a fan experience, Estefania, like meeting somebody in the gaming hobby that you were like, oh my gosh, it's blah, blah, blah?
Mm-hmm. I kind of do, but I never got to meet her in person. I'm trying to think. Trying to think in person. Well, you know, it's kind of funny. Anna Maria, when I got to meet her in person, because I met Anna Maria through just emails, and this is pre-pandemic. So when I was first doing Popcats Fighter, she reached out to me, and it was when it was what was the thing that they did?
Girls Game Shelf.
Girls Game Shelf.
Girls Game Shelf. Yeah, thank you. So it was when that was going on, and she reached out to me. We emailed a few times, and we were gonna do this thing, and then it fell out. So we emailed a bunch of times actually, and after even several months, she reached out to me again. And we talked about it. Then the pandemic happened, right? And then right before the pandemic happened, I mean, I got to meet her in person at Dice Tower West actually, because when I lived in Las Vegas, that's where she went to do a panel. And I remember meeting her for the first time and being like, "Oh my God, this is someone I've been emailing with for 2 years." I followed the blog, and it was kind of crazy. And we took some pictures, and it felt and you both know Anna Maria, and she's
Mhm.
lovely, amazing. I can't say enough nice things about her. It'll never be enough. But when I got to meet her, it felt like I have known her for so long.
Aw.
She was so friendly when we were talking, and it felt so comfortable. And we took pictures, and then we hung out, and it was just really nice. I think when I got to meet her, that was a very great experience of like, wow, like it's in person kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely understand. We had her on a couple months back, and she's such a delight.
Yeah,
Agreed.
she really is. I love her.
Yeah.
Hi, Anna Maria, if you can see us.
Yeah.
Yeah, she sometimes peeks in. It's all a matter of what she's
We
doing.
have lots of lurkers here. People are
Yeah,
making
for
dinner,
sure.
putting their kiddos to bed, Yeah.
Yep. All right, Estefania, favorite game designer other than yourself?
Nice. I feel like moi.
Yeah.
Right, we already know you're amazing, but yeah, who else do you like?
I mean, you kind of can't go wrong with, and I'm gonna name a few.
Oh, please.
You can't go with Elizabeth Hargrave. Can't go wrong with that. For Tessa, and Emma, and I'm blinking on last names. What's Emma's last name?
Larkins.
Larkins. Thank you. And for Tessa, Scott, is that her last name? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep,
So
that is.
Yeah, they're all amazing, and I think I've been lucky enough to Elizabeth Carver is the one I mentioned before that I got to meet her like on a stream, but never in person. But that was really nice too when I got to meet her. I mean, we get to talking a little bit, but with Emma and for Tessa, and I mentioned them too because I know them in person and we've hung out. They're great designers uh outside of the games that they've done. I've gotten to play with them, just regular games, prototypes that they've had and stuff like that, and really getting to know how they think and their process is incredible. I really admire both of them, and I know that when I was pre Funko, when I met Emma and Fortessa, it was nice to talk shop with both of them and really get to know inside their brain and think, and be honest on like what they thought about my stuff and the people's games too, because we used to play test, especially with Emma. So I think they're great, not just because I know their games and I have them on my shelf right over there, but because I know how their minds work when they're working on game design, and it's incredible to see them really.
And then what's so cool too is that, so you mentioned Emma and Fortessa and Anna Maria, they're all like local to you as well.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That must make it like super easy to just be like brainstorm. Do you ever like want to have like brainstorming sessions with them?
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes when we hang out, like you kind of can't help but to start talking about game design, even if we're just there to watch TV or whatnot, like just to hang out or play or actually play games that are published. You just kind of can't help but go into that direction because it kind of spews out of all of us in one way or another. So it's really nice to know these women that are extremely talented and as nice as they come.
Yeah, like I said, with a powerhouse trio like the three of you, you should all do a co-design.
Oh man, can you imagine all of us?
Oh yeah.
Woo! That would be a game.
That would be a game.
Mm-hmm. That would be so cool. And welcome in, AKH Money. Good to see
Hello.
you here.
Hello.
We're talking with the wonderful Estefania Rodriguez. She is a game designer, and if you have any questions for her about game design or about board games or anything really in general, feel free to pop it into the chat. I have a question. My next question for you, my dear, is what's the last thing you backed on crowdfunding?
The last thing. Extravaganza. I just got it.
Oh, yes. But I'm so excited about that.
I'm super excited, but that's not the last thing I backed. I'm trying to like backtrack from that. What was it? I think it was something by Peter from AEG. Didn't he have something recently up there?
Oh, I think Fit to Print was his last.
Yes, Fit to Print
project.
Yeah, that's the last one. Because my husband and I, we went to school for art school, and so I'm a graphic designer, and he was kind of a graphic designer as well before. Now he's more focusing on illustration, but just that kind of stuff, like Fit to Print to like make your layouts and school projects and stuff. And as I am a graphic designer at work as well, it just feels like something natural for us to play and have fun with and kind of connect. So I'm excited about that one.
Very cool. I love to sometimes we get folks that are like, hold on, I could tell you exactly which one it is, and they're like scrolling through their Kickstarter inbox or whatever.
Oh yeah, we had that a couple of times. They grab their phone, it's like, all right, here's like the last 6 things I backed, or they'll turn and look at their shelves like, oh yeah, I just got that one in.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, makes sense.
Love it. All right,
the whole list right up to your hands.
All right, is there anybody in particular that you've looked up to as a mentor as you've gone through this journey of design and professionalism?
I mean, I kind of said it before with Emma and Fortessa. Like I work with Fortessa every day, which I'm very thankful for. But I don't have anyone in particular that I maybe that I didn't know beforehand and kind of looked up to them and then got to meet them. I think I look up to people that I meet as I go. So I don't have anyone in particular other than really Emma and Fortessa. They're an inspiration every day.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I think that's so cool too. That's just like they're like my peers, my coworkers. That's
I mean, a lot of folks aren't that fortunate to have somebody within like arm's distance that they can look up to like that.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean pre-pandemic, because I started doing my own game stuff in 2018, and I definitely didn't have those kinds of friendships. I didn't really know that those kinds of people that did game design like that. I just knew more just gamers in general. So transitioning into that as the pandemic happened, because as it happened to a lot of us, it was just like everyone was online, so you were playtesting online. I mean, I playtested when the pandemic was going on that first year, like 4 times a week, and every day of that week was 3 to 5 hours. So you got to meet a lot of people really around the world, which was great. So I think when we transitioned into that is really when I started to get to have a crowd that I could admire and look up to. And when I got the job at Funko and got to move to Seattle, it was just kind of a coincidence that all those people a lot of people that I met were here already, and some of them were coming. I mean, Anna Maria, I think was coming right a couple of months after I got here, kind of thing. And I think it was just all good timing.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. Definitely. It was definitely like your story, just hearing from you and like the conversations that we've had in the past too. It's just kind of like this nice, like turning of events and like in serendipity in a way, because I was just like, oh my gosh, now I have this, and I met this person, and they're actually ended up moving to the place that I was supposed to go to, and then I ended up getting a job. Like it's just so cool to hear those stories, how just things just kind of fell into place.
Yeah, for sure.
Such an inspiration. Yeah.
And what's funny about working at Funko is because I've been wanting to work at Funko for as long as I was in college.
Wow.
Like when the Pops first came out, they had nothing to do with gaming back then. It was just like the Pops. and it slowly grew into what it is today. But I every so many years, like every 2 or 3 years, I applied to Funko, and it just happened that in 2021 they had gaming stuff, and I was like, ooh, I want to apply to that. And so again, that's also like just a happy coincidence that I was able to apply for not only to the company I wanted to work for, but like in the field that I was very much interested in.
Yeah. That's very cool.
That's great when all the cards line up perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah. When is it going to happen again? But
yeah, knock on wood, right?
I'm glad it did. Yeah, I'm glad it did.
Yeah, and I mean, we're talking with you, and there's so many wonderful like ladies in the industry and stuff too. It's just like I feel like it's so much more inspirational now to hear stories like yours, Estefania, and like an encouragement for others that identify like trying to be in this space, but identify as a woman or a person of color or whatever their identifiers are. And to know that it is possible, like when they think about, gaming and stuff, sometimes it feels intimidating. Like it's it might be like a all boys club kind of thing, but there's change, there's difference, there's impact that's happening. And you're one of the many that's actually like making a difference. So that's just really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. If anyone out there is watching this, and is kind of interested in going into the industry, my best advice would be to just apply. Like it really is just about applying and networking, get to know people around you, and just form those natural friendships. Because you're gonna meet someone that you get along with. There's so many gamers out there. There's so many people who are interested in the industry that you're bound to find your other meeple. So I think it's worth to note that anyone can do this in a way, regardless of how you identify and who you are, and sometimes even where you are. Because we have computers and laptops these days. So you just have to keep moving forward.
Yeah, 100%. Well said. Well said. Joe?
It's your question.
It's mine. All right. Well.
Yep.
Yeah. Abby says she loves that. I agree. I love that so much. So in that sense, Estefania, what motivates you to keep going within game design, within the board gaming space?
For me, I find game design and being in the game industry challenging in a way of it always feels like a game to do games.
Yeah.
Like a game within itself.
Yeah.
It's always a new challenge. A new project is new solutions, new problems, new things to face. So I think that to me keeps it fresh. There's certain things that sometimes can take a long time when you work a certain job that is sort of similar every day. And I find that my job, although I learn every day, I know that tomorrow I'm going to learn something new and I'm going to have a new problem that I maybe didn't have with this other project. So I think the challenge keeps me coming back and keeps me wanting to learn how to do it better or learn from someone else who had the same kind of problem before. And I was like, how did you figure this out? What did this other person do? Because we all kind of have to learn from each other in order to be better that much faster. So sharing information, especially at work, we all talk to each other and we're all pretty close because of that, I think, because we have to move forward, together, or we don't move forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Forward together. Imagine that.
Very well said for sure. All right, to get back on the lighter sides of things a little bit, do you have a favorite or funniest board game memory?
I genuinely had a friend flip over a table once.
Oh.
Okay, we've got ourselves a story. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, it was real life. It was kind of a frustration moment, and there was a lot of things that lined up, and there was a lot of people, and I think it was, there might have been a little bit of alcohol involved, or substance, and it was late night, and it was one of those things where we were at the end of the game, and just, and we're like, oh, and then there's no undo, like tabletop simulator. There's no like, bloop, 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 bloop. That was an interesting night. That was fun. But that's probably one of my funniest memories with gaming.
Do you remember what game it was, out of curiosity?
No, I don't. I was trying to remember, but it was back in college. So again, we're talking about like 15 years ago.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. If it comes to my head, I will say it. I will bring it back.
About to say, it must have been a very frustrating game for somebody to want to flip a table. I mean,
yeah, there's a lot of
adult beverages or not.
yeah, there's a lot of things going on. But the end result was still the table flipping, and we're like, cool, all right.
That's the game. Good night, folks.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Oh, too funny. Too funny. All right. So going along those lines, do you have a board game that you would never play again?
I don't think so. I definitely don't like certain games that, but yeah, I guess it doesn't have to do anything with one in particular. I don't like when people argue and get very heated over technicalities.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
So if it's a game that allows that kind of thing, I think sometimes I have a hard time playing because I don't want to take it that serious. Yeah. And I understand that people do, and it's fine for those people to play, right? Mm-hmm. And do that. And there's some games that, kind of gonna go for that. But I just in particular don't like those kinds of games. Like if there's something that someone's gonna be like on a technicality to try to win or whatever it is, I'm like, oh, I immediately like I don't want to play anymore. I'm gonna go. Thank you. Here's all my money or all my points. I don't care.
Right. Here, I'll let you flip the table. It's fine.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah. I'm gonna go play something cooler, something nicer.
Yeah.
To chill out.
Oh man.
That's awesome. All right. As far as shelving, horizontal, vertical, or if it fits, it sits.
If it fits, it sits.
Nice. Another one for the If Fits, It Sits Club.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking at my shelf right now and it's like madness. But I'm like, well, but there's space there. I'm like, there's a space there and I'm here.
I totally understand that. I spent this weekend redoing our shelves because I was just jamming things in whatever space was available. I was literally running out of room. Mm-hmm. So I got the idea to reshelve all my shelves and start from like the biggest boxes and then go on up. And I made like a shelf and a half of space. It was great.
How long did it take you, Joe?
8-9 hours, I think.
Wow.
Abby could tell you. She watched me for most of it.
Stream it?
No, I didn't stream it. I probably should have, but
awesome. A little timeless music.
Yeah.
I do want to say though that like I wish more companies did, and I think it's something that's becoming now in more modern games. It's starting to happen, but where the box has a horizontal, has a vertical, because some of them I'm like, well, it fits like this. I'm like, but it doesn't have it, and I'm like, oh, it sucks. But I want, I have the space or whatever.
Yeah.
And the space is a little more important right now because otherwise it doesn't fit. I'm like, okay, I don't want you to go somewhere else. I want you to be with your sisters and your brothers and everyone else, your whole family.
Yeah, that was my problem. And then I'm just like, okay, I can't do by publisher. I can't do by type. Like I literally just need this to fit on my shelves and I need space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to do it too. Where I'm like, it just has to fit. I just want you all here together, not in the closet.
Yep. All right. Ideal player count for a game.
4.
Okay.
Yeah, 4.
Nice round, nice easy figure.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you opposed to higher player counts, or is just 4 just that sweet spot for you?
Yeah, I think it's what I usually play with my friends, and we play obviously we played like 6 and even 8 depending on like the couples or friends that are hanging out, you know. But I think 4 sounds like chill night, like having fun, keeping it loose, and 6 sounds chaotic, which can be fun, and I like it too. But I think 4 is, I think it's my nice ground.
Okay.
All right. Do you have a what was it? What is it? I'm trying to read what I said. Oh, if you could redesign a game, Estefania, which one would it be?
Why am I redesigning it?
Because
is it because I
think
find
it could
it
be
bad?
better? Let's say this game would have been better if it had cats in it.
I mean, every game could have cats.
Like
you made it too easy, Jess.
Dead of Winter would have been better if there's more cats.
If there was kittens, you can't tell me it wouldn't have been better.
Yeah, see, Tate knows. Tate Wu's in the chat, and he's like, must have cats.
That's true. Tate's all about the cats.
I can't think of a game that I would have redesigned. Although I will mention that I like to play games, right? Learning the rules, as you're supposed to play. And then I like to play the game again with rules changed, but not necessarily because I think they're necessary, just because I'd be curious to see how it plays.
Okay.
I'd be curious how much harder or how much easier it is to do something. So in Las Vegas, when we were in college and after and before the pandemic, we used to play with my friends, and there would be nights where we would just play the games, and then the first time we're like, oh, this was awesome, I love this game, and let's play it again and change this or that kind of thing. And it was never, and I should mention that we never played a game again if we didn't like it. So it's not like we tried to fix the game. It was just more curiosity, like, I want to play again, I want to see how this works in this game because it might work in a cool way kind of thing. So I think we played games before again that we liked, not that we had to fix.
Okay. That's definitely a game designer thing to do, I think.
Yeah,
let's try to play it, but instead of this, like, give everybody $5 to start with, or like
they were like, your bank's out, let's go.
Yeah, I like it.
That's fantastic. All right, controversial question time.
Ooh.
Do you think the terms board game and tabletop are separate, or are they becoming interchangeable?
All right, hold on.
Oh, did I stump her? Did I stump her? What do I get?
No, I mean, people use them interchangeably, but they're not. Because a tabletop game can be a card game, but a card game can't be a board game. So what's the question? Like, how do I answer the question properly?
Yeah. So for you personally, do you think they're separate terms, or are they becoming interchangeable?
They're separate terms.
Okay.
What do you guys think? What's going on?
I mean, honestly, for me, I do use them interchangeably a lot, but I do know, like, in the back of my mind that there is an obtainable difference. Like, you say tabletop, I think Dungeons and Dragons or like an RPG, or if you say board game, I'm thinking, okay, if there's not a board on the table, then what are we doing here?
Right. Nice.
Yeah, yes? I could see leaning more towards the RPG, the miniatures type gaming as more of the tabletop thing. Board games, I feel, yes, I agree with you, Joe, to some extent. If there's not a board, it's not necessarily a board game. However, when you go to a store and you say, I go to like a board game store, there's going to be card games there, right?
Oh, facts.
And sure. There's going to be miniatures there. So it's hard to say, but I think there's enough space. I kind of lean more towards the fact of, like, tabletop gaming is more of the larger umbrella, and then like board games, it's kind of the smaller umbrella underneath it. Mm-hmm. So it's like tabletop gaming could include RPGs, could include miniatures, could include war games, could include card games, could include board games, like all of that, dice games, all of that kind of thing. Yeah. So I think tabletop is, for me, is the larger umbrella, but yeah, I think it's you'll basically get there if you're like, I work in tabletop games, and people will be like, oh, like if you say video games, they know like what you're talking about. If you work in video games, does that mean 1v1, kind of solo shooters? Are you playing MMOs? Like, what is it? So that's just me. But we're not here to ask us, Estefania.
Mm-hmm.
You're the guest. That's a good way to
put it. Hey, I said it was controversial, and apparently I was right.
Yeah, it is. All right, I'm saving your other favorite question for you, Joe.
I appreciate it.
So I'm going to say, what games would you recommend to someone just starting out in game design, to like help them with their creative process, like hobby games?
Someone who's trying to go into game design.
Yeah, like what games would you recommend? Like, you should play this because of this, or you should play this because of, you should play an Uwe Rosenberg game because he's made like a bajillion, or
yeah. I don't think of any particular game that I would recommend for someone to play if they were going into game design. Because I'm trying to think of myself, right? Like, what if someone had come up to me before, and when I first started, and recommended me these certain games that I know people, like and stuff like that, and have great mechanics and are interesting games to play. But I feel like if I was talking to someone who was trying to go into game design, I would say, like, play whatever different kinds of games of whatever type of game you like. Anything that you find interesting, right? Like set collection, right? Like I would tell you, I don't know, maybe we'll go to point salad or something like that, like just find different kinds of games that have different styles, that have those mechanics that you enjoy. Because you will find, by playing things that you like, I think it becomes more inspiring to design. And all games have more than one mechanic, almost, right? Like I can't think of one game that's just like, this is the only thing you do and nothing else. There's very few things like that. So I think you'll be introduced in a more comfortable way to play games that you like. And you'll be introduced to other mechanics in a more comfortable way by playing games that you like. So that would be my recommendation. Just play anything you like. Don't necessarily go to games that in general might be good, because if you don't enjoy it, then that might burst your bubble about game design. Kind of.
That's fair.
Okay.
Totally fair.
All right, here comes the good question.
So the other one's the favorite question, and then this one's the good question.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, the last one was a good question. This is my favorite question.
Oh, okay, I got it.
All right. Do you consider yourself a player first, a designer second, or has the creative process overtaken the hobby aspect of gaming for you?
I am a designer first, for sure. And I've discovered that probably about a year ago. Because I remember thinking, I was just like, I just want to, play test. I'm like, oh, I don't want to play a new game. Like, I don't want to learn a new game. I want to play test this game and try to break it, or like, I find it more fun.
Okay.
And I think maybe it has to do with work. We play lots of games and we try a lot of things. So it's a different kind of fun, for sure, to play test a game than to play a game that's already been polished and already finished. So I think I'm definitely a designer first, and now more than just a player. Because I'm trying to think too, like if you were to walk up to me and be like, "Hey, I have this game, or I have this game, a prototype that I'd like to play test," I'd be like, "Let's prototype, play test.
Let me break your game.
Forget the game you just published. Good job."
That's awesome. I like it. I honestly think that's the first time somebody has said designer first. Usually we get player first most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, very nice. And that board, I'd be the only, like, the counting of the two answers. Mm-hmm. The other side.
Yeah, seriously, I have a whiteboard just sitting here, Estefania. I think I need to go and just grab a bag of like random meeples, stick some magnets behind them, and just like
you totally should.
And I'm gonna do player color. I'm gonna do fits or sits or horizontal. Player first, designer first. Yeah.
I know these are the statistics everybody really wants to know.
Exactly.
And every year, you could be like, "Look, this is how it grew. This is how it changed." Reset it every year too.
Yep.
So it becomes a thing of like, what's this year's trends?
Right?
That kind of stuff.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Everyone needs to know statistics. What's happening?
That's all what we want.
All what we want. All right, Estefania, what is something you wish would improve or change within the board gaming hobby?
Improve or change. I would hope that in years to come, it's easier to hold, because a lot of people, want to have full-time jobs in the board game industry, and it's really hard, which is why I consider myself extremely lucky. But I know there's not that many opportunities sometimes to hold that kind of job. So I wish there was a way for board game companies, to be able to have better incomes or profits, so they could have more people work full time instead of having the freelance life, because it can be hard for a lot of people. Although, I was a freelancer for 12 years, doing all kinds of different things before I was at Funko. That's really the life that I always knew. So it can be fun to have freelance because you can work on multiple projects, but that's when you have multiple projects. And when you don't have multiple projects to work on, it can be hard to have a freelance life. And if I could make space for everybody that wants to be in the industry to be in it, that would be awesome. But I think stuff like that, where it's more accessible to be in the game industry with feeling safer, with having, insurance and all that kind of stuff. I think that would make things really nice for people. And obviously more as an opportunity where female people get to have more space, more non-gender, people of color, like that kind of stuff. Space for everybody like that is definitely necessary as well. And I would hope that that's something that the more available spots that there are, the more those people can come in and sit, because it can be hard to get in sometimes. It's just the reality that it is, but there's definitely room, and it's always a chance. It's just hopefully there's a bigger chance in the future.
Well said. Well said.
All right. So following up with my last question, do you design games for yourself, or do you design them for your potential audience?
For myself. 100%. I think that's the best way for me to do it, because to find that people that will like your game. I mean, people will always like your game. No matter what you do, you will always find someone who likes it. But I find it a lot harder to please somebody else and be happy with it. I have to be happy with it in order for me to feel comfortable enough to give it to somebody else who may not like it, because that will also happen. There will be people, no matter how good your game is, no matter how popular it is, people won't like your game. And as an artist and a creative, as as we all are really, it can be really hard to have someone not like what you do. And if you're always changing your game and playtesting, when you playtest games, you always get people's feedback, and it's great. But sometimes what person A said, person B wants the complete opposite. And how do you appease both of them? And that struggle can be hard. So I think if you make yourself happy with your game and you design for what you want, then it doesn't matter which one of them to like it. You will always be happy. So that's kind of how I see it. So I definitely, I know that I design for what I want to do.
I like
All
it.
right, great answer.
I like it. All right, Estefania, is there a game idea that you've shelved currently at the moment to hopefully get back to at a later date?
Oh yeah, for sure. I have quite a few things that I was kind of working on, and I have this little notebook of all these random ideas. The closest one I got to working, but didn't quite make it there yet, is actually my first game, Pocket Fighter. It's like Street Fighter kind of card game. But the next one for me would be Popcats in a Band. So it's just a bunch of like punk 90s like metal cats who are all competing in a band of like a battle band kind of thing. But there's a lot of things to it. I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah.
Of what's going to happen for when the future comes, because it will come, because I'm like I did quite nice progress in it before Funko. So that's something that's like, all right, one day, my dear, I will be back.
That's awesome.
So I am definitely looking forward to that. And that, to me, like, I'm designing that game for me. My biggest inspiration for that game is like Riot Girl. Like listening to Riot Girl music, in particular Rebel, like that. I'm like, yes, this is what I want people to play, a game that comes from like this music, this kind of genre. So
nice. I like it. I'm looking forward to that too.
Yep, I'm glad there's more Popcat stuff in the hopper, because when I played Popcats Fighter at OrcaCon, I was super excited. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad to know that there's more in the brain of yours.
Yeah, and we have crossovers too. We already have them all planned. Like, there's a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, Happy's in agreement with us. Always need more Popcats.
Yes, need more Popcats. All right. Do you have a particular routine when you're working on or designing, creating a game, like a ritual or anything, or you just go at it?
No, yeah, I don't think I have a ritual. No, I just kind of go with whatever I'm feeling for the game. I think different games take different patterns of working. At least for me, I don't necessarily think that, I don't get up and go to my desk and start working. I think different games, like I work them sometimes more in a sketchbook. Sometimes I need to just play it and not necessarily write things over and over again. But I don't think I necessarily have a pattern for designing. It's just whatever I feel fits best for the game, and also different stages of the game when you're designing a game. And it feels more natural sometimes to write everything down and get technical, and then there's times where it feels more natural just to play the game over and over again until you feel you got all the kinks out, kind of thing.
Okay.
All right. Personally for you, Estefania, do you have a number of games in your collection or in anyone's collection that you would consider to be too many games?
No. If you like them, there's like no such thing as too many.
Yes, I like that answer.
I like it.
You could have a lot and like a lot, but like too many is not a word for me. If you like them, and you're not causing harm to anybody, then be my guest.
You be you.
Mm-hmm. And you have the space, my lord. Woo.
I love it. Now I don't feel so bad with mine. Like,
I mean, I don't either.
Don't feel bad. Yeah, if you played it and you like them, and I mean, there's games that I have that I haven't played. Like, I mean, everybody has that shame shelf kind of thing.
Oh yeah, we've all got it.
Yeah, but it's nice to have them. They're more than just games. A lot of times they're pieces of artwork. They're tactile pieces of people. Like, it's there's a lot of work that goes into one game. So I think they're like kind of a work of art. So I don't see anything wrong with just having so many of them.
I like it. Joe?
All right. Simplicity or complexity? What are you more partial to when it comes to design?
Simplicity. But they're both very hard, but I think simplicity is harder because most of the time you'll have something complex as opposed to something simple. And taking away is hard. Adding's a little easier, in my opinion.
Okay.
All right. Top 5 games, Estefania, you would take on a weekend getaway.
Kitchen Rush. I love that game. I love kitchen games. I just do. I don't know why. I'm not a person like a chef or anything like that. I don't have any that's in like that kind of industry. It's just like I like kitchen games and cooking. Abandoned Old Artichokes would be a good one too. Kind of like to get things warmed up. Trying to think what else. I'm looking at my shelf and I'm like, which ones? Like, if I'm taking my games right now and like I'm going over there, like, where am I taking? Dollars to Donuts. I just got that one. I played it on tabletop a long time ago, or Tabletopia, I think. It's a great one. And what else? Am I at 4, 3? What else do I have? I think those are the only ones that I would take right now. Yeah.
You have 2 more games you could take.
2 more? Can I take games that I haven't played?
Yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
You can take
they
games
don't
you
have to
haven't
be
played.
in your collection. They could be like, I'm going to go borrow them from a friend and bring them back.
Sure. I haven't played, and I don't get mad, people. Wingspan. I haven't played it.
Okay.
And
all right.
The complexity of it, I don't know. I find it very interesting. I want to play it. So that would be another one that I would take. And what else? I feel like now I'm spaced. I should have written these before. Have time to think about it and be written them down. Because now I'm freaking out. What else? I can't think of anything else right now.
That's fine.
That's okay.
That's fine.
I think I'm like panicking inside. I'm like, don't forgetting all the names. My little brain is like printing out the names.
Yeah.
And like putting it right into the trash chute. It's just like
it's okay. You gave us 4. That works.
Yeah, like we said, there's no wrong or right answers. So if you only have 4, you only have 4. That's fine too.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
All right, Joe.
Okay. Do you think crowdfunding has changed the design process of board games for better or for worse?
It has definitely changed it. And I want to say better, but I think it's for the worse.
Okay.
Because it's the expectations now are so high that I remember when 10-ish years ago, Kickstarter was kind of becoming a thing where it was a little more common for board games, and I had friends that did it, and we did Kickstarters too before, and it was really a thing of like kickstart, right? It's like the whole meaning of like, hey, we're gonna help you get this started. We're gonna help you take this to the finished product, and that was the whole point. And now these days, I have to have the game finished, really. Like I feel like most games have to be very far along. You have to have amazing visuals for almost everything, if not everything, because you have to have a component list. You have to have videos of people playing your game, which makes it that before the Kickstarter goes up, which makes it that you have to spend money on making prototypes, and they have to be nice. And I totally understand the reason why those things happen, but it makes it, now that it's not a Kickstarter, it's more like a fancy pre-sale or hopefully sale to make it into a real thing. But anyone who's putting their game on Kickstarter had to spend, or any crowdfunding, I should say, had to spend a bunch of money and a bunch of time, more so than you would have 10 years ago. So I think for that reason, it would have nice for it to stop the way it was going like a few years ago, and I feel like now it's very crazy to you need money. You need to crowdfund money before you get the crowdfunding for the game because it's very expensive to do that kind of stuff. It's not just a few things here and there. There's a lot of things. It's a lot of work. I'm not even talking about the hours that you're going to put into as a producer, as the game designer, as the graphic designer. We're just talking about like monetary transactions for everything that you have to do to get your Kickstarter or your crowdfunding page going, to get money to print the game. So we need a crowdfunding page.
Help fund the Kickstarter.
Yes.
Yeah, we need to help me get money so I can get a crowdfunding page that looks nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I have to agree. I mean, crowdfunding in itself is a fantastic tool, but the simple fact that, these sites like Kickstarter and GameFound, they've just become fancy pre-order stores, and it's not fun.
Yeah, it makes it really hard to really find the people to help sometimes. And not that these places don't need it or anything like that. It's very important to do crowdfunding for a lot of places. I totally get that, but it does make it harder for the even smaller ones. Every year it gets even harder.
That's very real. I don't know if we've ever had anyone here on the show that's actually talked about the difficulties of actually launching a crowdfunding page. I mean, they see the benefits of it, right? But that was some really good insight you gave of just like the behind the scenes of like, you got to crowdfund the crowdfunding.
Yeah, a lot of money. I've done it several times for things before gaming, and then I tried to do podcasts a few years ago. It was a different game back then, so in some ways I'm glad it didn't work because I made it so much better. But and even when I was starting again before I got the Funko job, it was like, okay, how much is this? Okay, everyone deserves to get paid, right? But everything takes time, and even though I'm a bit of a jack of all trades, there's only so many things I can do, because at the end of the day, I'm one person with only 24 hours in one day.
Yeah.
So no matter how many things I know how to do, there is a limit on how fast I can make them.
Yeah.
So even though I have skills, I still need other people. And those other people need to get paid. And I may be able to sacrifice my time for my project. But when it comes to your project, you can't sacrifice other people's time.
Fair.
So it can be a lot to launch a Kickstarter, even if it's just a simple game overall, not something super complicated. We're not talking about heavy box games, just something simpler. It takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic.
All right, Estefania, do you have a favorite or dream publisher that you would like to have publish one of your games?
I don't. I don't have someone in particular in mind.
Okay. That's totally fine. Totally fine. And sometimes people are like, I like to self-publish my stuff, which is totally fine too.
Yeah, I think I would say that I would like to self-publish because I think I like that kind of stuff. Because we were freelancing for so long and we sold our artwork with my husband and I for so long. It is nice to do that kind of stuff. I do know it's a lot of work though. But I think if I was able to take my games for someone else to publish it, I don't necessarily can think of anyone in particular, but I would say that I would try to find someone who really gets my game.
Okay.
Not necessarily the biggest box, the biggest publisher.
Yeah.
I would want someone who can connect with the game and can understand what I was going for.
Okay.
That to me feels more important than just someone who can, make a bunch of different things or can maybe give it high sales. I just want someone to connect with it. That's really it.
Nice. All right, Joe. Any last questions for our special segment?
Yeah, I've got another one. All right, what is the most incredible bargain you've ever found on a game?
Bargain on a game?
Yeah.
I can't think of any bargains that I've had. I mean, I've had some stuff on sale, sure. Like Dollars to Donuts, I bought it at Blue Highway, and it's a used game. So I didn't buy it brand new. So I mean that kind of stuff is nice, but I don't really have like, I got this for $2 or something like that.
You don't have any of those posts where it's like someone's at the Goodwill and they bought Gloomhaven for like $15.
Yeah, for $10.
No, I don't have that story. I mean, I got a jacket once for $15 at Goodwill, but not a game.
Yeah. No, I think nothing's ever going to beat Abby's Goodwill find. Downfall of Pompeii for $8 in shrink wrap at a Goodwill.
Wow.
Yeah, $8 in shrink wrap.
Nice. That was good.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever found a better deal than that. And the funny thing is, we had just started out playing games, so she just picked it up. Was like, hey, this looks good. And funny enough, that game is still on our shelves 7 years later. Like,
nice.
We can't part with it.
Oh,
it's like all the history.
Yep, it was one of our first babies.
That's too cool. All right, so I've got a question, one more question, and Joe, you go ahead.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go skedaddle because I need a break.
Get our special guest here. Do you have, Estefania, a Grail game?
Grail game. I really I don't think I have one like that, but there's, and I've said this many times, like I like to play, we always bring out like a point salad.
Okay.
When I'm playing with someone or people who maybe just are not into gaming or just, kind of starters, I feel like it's a game that's kind of very cutesy. It's simple designs, are not overwhelming, and it's easy to teach. So that's always a game that I like to take around when I'm meeting with people who, may not be heavy gamers in some ways. So I think that would be that, but I don't know if I would call it a, holy grail kind of thing.
Okay, that's totally fair. And also, if tomorrow was your last day on Earth, what would your final dish be? And you can have it be like a 3-day, like 3 meals if you want to, like
sure,
whole day.
If tomorrow's my last day, I would have French fries with bread and pasta, like chicken Alfredo kind of pasta.
Okay.
Heavy on the cream for sure, and the sauce.
Okay.
Lots of Parmesan cheese. I don't want to see the pasta. Okay.
There's pasta in there.
Yeah, I want like all the cheese and like be like, is there pasta in there? There's pasta. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll trust you. With some French fries and some good fresh baked bread.
All right. And what would be to wash it all down?
Oh, easy. Coke. As much Coke as I could take. And for dessert,
yeah.
I would have ice cream with like a blueberry pie kind of thing.
Okay.
Like any fruity pie, but really I think blueberry would be the best fruit one.
Nice. It's definitely a good final day meal for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, friends, it's your favorite part of the show. I'm going to do a little transition here because we've got some theme music we're going to be playing in the background.
Nice.
The wonderful Omari Akil made this lovely theme song for Phantom here. Can you hear it okay, Estefania?
Oh, yeah. That kid is so talented.
It's catchy, y'all. It's catchy. All right, may I present to you not Phantom Meeple anymore, Estefania. This is Sir Phantom Lipton. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, everybody. Glad to be here. Gotta say, I find myself humming that all the time. Don't know why, I just do. But this is not about me. This is, of course, about our guest. Good evening, Estefania. How are you?
Good evening. I'm good. How about yourself?
I am fantastic. So those that may or may not be familiar, of course, towards the end of the show, we always come to the Sir Phantom Lipton questionnaire. As James Lipton and Bernard Pivot did before me, it is time. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. What is your favorite board game?
Kitchen Rush.
Okay. What is your least favorite board game?
Next.
Okay. What board game makes you feel the most happy?
Competitive games, but I have to say one in particular. Oh my god, I'm like blanking out.
Okay, you can take your time.
I would say competitive games. Oh my god, what's that game we played a few weeks ago? Oh my gosh. Hold on, I took a picture of the game.
Take your time. We are in no rush at all.
Mike, what was that game? It was which one? I won also. You know, don't want to brag. Witchers, it's from AEG. Witcher something. Should I just Google it? I'm going to Google it.
There you go. If it helps you remember, go for it.
Oh my god. What is it? Whirling Witchcraft.
Oh, that is a good one. Okay. What board game makes you feel the most sad?
Pass. It
All
sounds mean.
Okay. What board game components do you love?
In general?
Mm-hmm.
Wooden meeples.
Okay. What board game components do you dislike?
Acrylics.
Okay. What board game is so bad that its name should become a curse word?
That would have been the same one from the first one. Pass.
All right. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Hmm. I'd like to be a video game producer. That would be fun. It's different, technically, even though two words are the same.
Okay. What profession would you not like to do?
I would not want to be a coder of anything or anything that has to do with a lot of Excel sheets.
Okay. And finally, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
About time.
There you have it, my friends, the Sir Phantom Lipton questionnaire.
Yeah, you passed,
Thank you.
You passed.
Oh my goodness.
And thank you so much for your honesty in passing too. Sometimes people are like, I have to say something that's a terrible game, and it's like, no, you don't have to. No right or wrongs. No judgment here.
Yeah, it definitely puts you on the spot there. I mean, sorry.
Yeah. No. Those are good questions, though. I like them.
Thank you. Thank you.
I like how it all came together.
Yeah, it has gone through a lot of evolution since we first started doing it, and it's almost down to a science at this point.
Yes.
Nice.
And then when we had Omari on here a few months back, he was like, I need to make a theme song for this, and we were like, yes, you should.
Yeah, we're just like, it's like, go for it, do it.
That's awesome. I'm glad he did. That's very cool.
Yeah, it's so catchy. Like, I hum it to myself all the time. I'm just like, that's so awesome.
It's so great.
And the best part about it is, he says he's not even done with it. Like, that's like the rough edit.
This is rough. Wow. I wish my roughs were like that.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just like, if that's rough, I can't wait to hear, you know, when he actually finishes it. I mean, I'm good with it as is.
Yeah.
That kid is ridiculously talented.
Omari is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, just a couple
he's
more
also
questions.
A great game designer. I play tested Hoop Gods.
Yeah?
Yeah, when I was in play testing, right? And that game is brilliant. It's so I love games that are very thematic and that every mechanic is just all blending in together into what you're supposed to be, doing, or what the game is supposed to feel like. And that's what I try to do with mine. And he's amazing at it. Hoop Gods was so much fun to play.
Have you played any of his other titles?
I have Rap Gods, but I haven't played it.
Okay.
See, play testing is always much more fun for me to do.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Like I found Rap Gods at half price books for like $20. I'm like, okay, I think it's time to actually finally play this game, but I haven't actually played it yet.
One day.
Yeah, just need to do it.
Yeah, we'll have to play together so we can both like check that box off.
Yes, we need to make that happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally. All right, Estefania, do you have a theme or an idea for a game that you wanted to make but saw someone else did it and you decided to stop?
No, because even if someone else did it, I would still do it.
Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
That is very cool.
Wouldn't stop me. I'd just be like, crap, how do I do it better?
That's perfect.
Yeah, crap. But I don't think it would ever stop me from doing it. It would just maybe make it harder to get there, only because I would try to be different, But yeah.
Very cool. Joe, do you have anything else?
Very awesome. Nope, I think we have said it all. I think we have dived deep enough
on the stream.
We have laid it all out. We have dived deep into the brain of Estefania, and we've heard it all.
There's a lot of good questions. I wish I was a little more prepared for some of them. My brain spits out all the names of things, and I forget everything. I apologize for that.
Oh, it's okay.
No worries.
But this was really fun, and again, a lot of great questions.
Awesome. I mean, we like to give people just the overview of this is just a cozy conversation, because if it was premeditated, if we sent you all the questions we were going to ask, it would sound very to me, it would sound very news interviewee, right?
Sure.
And it would be here's this and this and this and this, and then you would probably phrase it some way and blah blah blah. But these conversations that we've had and having with you tonight, it feels to me more natural, more free form conversation than just of okay, as a game designer, blah 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 blah, because we want to know you as the person as well as the game designer. We want to bridge that gap and connect people. That's why we're calling it community connections. We're connecting the people in the community with those that are in the hobby space and designing the games that they love, making the artwork that they love, making the content that they want to stream, kind of thing. So
no, it's awesome. Thank you for having me.
So you did absolutely fantastic, Estefania. No need to apologize.
Yeah, this was great. Did you at least have fun?
No, yeah, absolutely. I really had a lot of fun. There's a lot of interesting questions, things that made me think. I was like, oh my, what, why? Just questioning myself, things that I maybe didn't ask myself before.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much for having me. I hope I get to come back another day when you have more questions, different questions or something like that. Or
maybe we'll have you come back when we have our whiteboard with all the meeples and stuff, and be like, look what's
over the stats.
Yeah, look what we did.
We did a thing.
Yeah, let's go over the stats.
You.
That'll be awesome. I can't wait.
But in the meantime, Estefania, what do you have coming up in your own designs? Anything you can talk about coming from Funko? Where can folks find you on the interwebs?
What can I say? There's a lot of good things coming out. So definitely keep an eye out for stuff online. Whenever there's a product that I end up being involved in, I will announce it online. But until then, I really can't say anything. So I would say keep an eye on my Twitter if you want to know. But there's a lot of cool things happening in this next year. Because the way that it works, things that we worked kind of last year, things that are coming out now. So it's a bit of a delay thing. So it's really nice that there's some cool stuff coming up. That's all I can say.
Okay, that's fair. We don't want you to spill the beans.
That's enough of a tease. I think you could be satiated with that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, Joe, what's coming up for you, my dear?
All right, so this week, obviously, it is Women's History Month, so Abby and I are going to spend this week playing games designed by women. So on Wednesday, doing a special Wednesday stream for International Women's Day, we're going to be playing Retrograde from Resonim, and then on Friday, we're going to be playing Consumption, Food and Choices. So 2 games designed by women, lots of fun, 4:30 p.m. Pacific each day. And then on Thursday, Panda and I are still competing in Sovereignty Madness. So come join us on stream and play some games on Sovereignty and help us win.
Awesome. Yes, and then for me, friends, you can catch me on Wednesday afternoon at noon Pacific time. It's going to be the wonderful Joe here, as well as Dutch Yoda and Panda. We're going to be playing some Creature Comforts on Tabletop Simulator for Women's History Month, and Wednesday is actually International Women's Day. So, but we're going to be a whole month of just fun things to be had. So yeah, that's going to be on Wednesday at noon Pacific, and then Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific, Joe's going to be joining me for a three-peat of Phantom this week. We're going to be playing some Motor City with Matt and Adam from Motor City Gameworks. We are trying to get Ben, but Ben's too busy, too much of a, he's got his own thing going. So
that's whatever. Cool. He can't hang.
He can't hang. He can't hang with cool kids. So it's going to be the 4 of us playing some Motor City. So yeah, that'll be at 11 a.m. on Friday. But for now, friends, stick around. I'm going to send you over on a raid train to the wonderful Ambi Rona. She's doing a escape room puzzle game again with Joe Sandow. It's their Monday puzzling adventures. The puzzle that they're doing today is called We Were Here Forever. It looks really cool. But yes, I want to say thanks to everybody for hanging out with us. Thanks to the subscriptions and everyone, especially you, Joe. I appreciate it. Stephanie, always a pleasure. Hopefully we get to game in person soon.
Wouldn't that be nice?
I mean, we're only a few hours away from each other, my friend, so...
It's true. Yeah, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Once it stops snowing and winter mixing and whatever the heck it wants to do here in the Northwest.
Yeah, once it gets nice and warm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you, Tate. Thank you, James. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us. And until next time, stay safe, enjoy your board games, and we'll see y'all on the next stream. Bye, everyone.
Bye.